Now, whatever you do, don't push this button.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone!
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vontae the First, the day portion of Mugen Eclipse.
And it's me, Mr. Twitchy, the night portion of Mugen Eclipse. Tonight we're back with Season 1, Episode 1 of a new series, that being Gachiakuta.
We are finally here. This is a manga that I personally have read up to 29, 30 chapters or so I'm going to get up to like maybe episode 6. That's all the content that I've actually covered. I actually did read it on my channel at one point, the manga. If you want to check it out, you can go ahead and check it out. But we're going to be here for the rest of this season. It is 24 episodes, 2 consecutive cours, so I'll let you tell them your experience, quote unquote.
Very inexperienced, as funny as that might sound, because I am 99.99% blind to this series. But other than that, I know there were some trash monsters in that trailer. Maybe some like imbuing souls inside of objects in the trash heap. And then there's a religious cult. So that's not topical or anything.
For anybody that doesn't know, this series is from an assistant from Okubo. Okubo is a mangaka for Fire Force, Soul Eater. And she created her own series with this one. So it has a lot of those kind of vibes with those series I just named. But really unique, a very unique power system, character designs, artwork specifically. So if you guys want to go back to the manga and read the chapters corresponding with the anime, I definitely recommend it because a lot of that art is really unique. But from what we've seen from the trailers, it also looks like that Studio Bones is going to do a great job with this as well. That being said, are you ready to hop into this episode?
I am. So if you guys enjoy our reaction today, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We will be here until the end of episode 24. Might hop into the manga next year, depending on what's going on with Chainsaw Man. Currently, Berserk in the future, and then some other stuff that we got planned. Soul Eater. But with that being said, let's waste no more time and get into Season 1, Episode 1 of Gachiakuta right about now. I also feel like this series is going to have a strong message for thematically what it's trying to convey, both from a class society type of situation and then also what does society deem as trash.
A hooded figure.
Like, that bunny was perfectly fine.
Absolutely true. Kind of like what you just said a second ago. No, we discard things all the time. Yep. Dismiss it as filth. Literally all trash. Damn. Okay.
My God. Don't touch that trash or I'll shoot you.
Exactly.
Oh my God, they're just shooting on sight.
What did you do? Ah.
Oh, he grabbed the bunny. Cool. Obviously, you have the pure white colors, the gold aesthetic, you know, everything that glimmers is gold. Notice how his cloak is a bit more frayed, darker shade of white. See, this is one thing I really wish Attack on Titan would have gotten more into in terms of the class differences. They did it more so in terms of like an ethnic side.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, speaking of AOT.
Ooh.
a wall.
Alright, that looks like the favela.
Is this bossing say? No, it really does though. The sins of the father type thing.
I mean, if he's so bad, you better watch your mouth.
Literally, like, man, kids be crazy. They don't be realizing what they be saying. Like, don't y'all think y'all be public enemy number one if he does end up that way? Like,
Aw, it's for you. How down bad do you have to be a social outcast for the outcast of society?
Right. Them living in the trashy areas, they got some drip. They got some trash drip. Hello, benefactor. Guardian. I feel like I could just see Jinx in here right now. Like, raised him since he was a baby, found him and raised him. Definitely gotta clean that. Y'all live in trash areas that could get infected immediately.
Oh. Oh, this is literally Bossing Say.
Yep. No trash. Well, if I did directing this.
You know what's crazy about it? It sounds like a Geiger scale for radioactivity.
Yeah.
Okay, Shinra. This has got to be like the first reference to Fire Force.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's probably dead. Oh.
Just kill me. Yes, don't throw me down there alive. Well, you didn't watch the trailer.
Oh. Take your present. Just kiss already. Oh, this is so cute.
Like this little piano OST.
And I don't know how you'll feel about this statement, but in other shonen series not written by a female mangaka, he would never have given that to her. It would have been interrupted. He would have tripped, fell. He would have, you know, just like with Tanaka recently.
Right. Oh boy. We're from Piltover.
Oh. Yeah, but that looks like an official blade. That doesn't look like a trash blade. He better not be framed for this murder. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
It really loving the piano stuff. Damn. That's really raw emotion just coming from his soul, pretty much. Damn.
Exhibit A. He was just kneeling in front of him, you idiot. This is Orochi's VA. Perfect casting. I hate how barbaric this is. It's not even mob mentality. It's literally all of the citizens feel this way.
Man. Damn.
Please do not drop the bunny. No! No! My heart.
Imagine just hearing, I mean, obviously, being in this situation, but also hearing them say, like, yeah, throw him down, get him out of here. Like, what? Or Eddie Yeager. I'll kill all of you. Oh yeah, this is like 100% Death Feels inspired. This here. Damn!
Oh, wow.
Boy, look like Pocket in whatever his name is in Bleach, the left arm. Wow. The distorted stuff, that's really good. He has been discarded.
You will know you've been reported. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Call of Silence? Nah. This is trashier trash, man. God damn, it stink down. I thought it stink up there. It stink down here.
Okay, this is one thing I want to talk about in the post-credits. Ryan! The trench is alive!
Trash! Living CG trash! I'm here!
Ooh.
I never even thought of the thought of if trash came to life. Like, who thinks of this? Alright, Obito. Okay, now you can listen to it.
Now I will mute it.
Man.
Okay, what I wanted to talk about was in a lot of series, they have a mention of environmentalism. That is the entire plot of this series so far. First impressions, of course.
Right.
But if these humans are living on this hill and they continuously dump their trash below, I can only think of this being analogous to Earth, and maybe that being the highest point, and then the Wall-E situation, the planet is just full of trash. Mm-hmm. There is no environment in which humans can live in.
Right.
So to see that as a central theme of this show is oddly enough and ironic enough refreshing, because you don't get more than very surface level type of conversations out of those other series. Mm-hmm. Oh, the humans are bad, they're doing environmental damage, and then it's never talked about again.
So one thing I do want to talk about, it's been in my mind since I like first read this chapter, and I obviously don't think it's been answered even in the manga today. That whole situation was kind of strange. Did you think it was a little like,
He was
not
set
that
up.
it was like a setup, and I want to say that Retgo was a part of it, because it just happened so fast. He was coming home, he ran into them first, those enforcers, quote unquote, first.
Yes.
And then he went in, and then the person that we were seeing ends up killing him right in front of him. And then after he wakes up, or after he wakes up, and then he goes over to him or whatever, he tells him like, "You gotta change this world." Like, why did he tell him that? Was that just like a raw emotion that he just really needed to get that out, or was it more so that, and on top of that, like, for some reason he has to do that in particular, and the only way that he can do that, quote unquote, is by whatever happened with Retko, a sacrifice or something. There's also a book there, and then they end up arresting him right after that, because we know that they came from that area at least. So I don't know. I always thought it was going to be one of those things that we will learn later on in the anime or the manga, like that big, just a big revelation there, because all that seemed too much of a coincidence.
I agree. I think Recto, one of a couple of possibilities. So the first one, and this is just me, with a frazzled brain trying to speak here, he's not dead. Now, obviously, I saw him stabbed in the sternum, bleeding, blood all over. They said you were framed for the murder, so that's a 1% chance. So the other 99% chance is he was working with someone, maybe even the apostles, and he was trying to do something maybe with a good intention at heart, but the power system as it stands, both literally and figuratively speaking in this world, will not allow for the masses to reclaim any of the power that they're owed. So I'm gonna keep this as generic as possible. It is quite a controversial topic to discuss, so bear with me. But it reminds me a lot of what is happening in our own world, to where you pit the masses versus one another. You say this person or group is worse than you, and you should hate them so that you don't see me taking away something from you.
Right.
And then you have the hierarchical structure of this city, this town, this world, for all intents and purposes, to where the higher up you go, the more power you have, the cleaner your clothes are, the less trash you have to interact with on a daily basis. But what's ironic about that, and the writing's on the wall, not the graffiti's on the wall, the writing's on the wall is, it is the most corrupt at the absolute top. So I don't know if Regto cut a deal with someone, maybe get, Rudo out of the slums, maybe him and Chiwa out of the slums. But I have a feeling he regretted a decision that he made, and then that was what caused his death.
It does seem like that, and especially since, he found him when he was a baby. They talked briefly, or a few times, the kids were talking about Rudo's father, that Rudo's father was some homicidal maniac. He was somebody that was basically how Rudo was looking to everybody else there is how his father allegedly was before, and what made him that way, or if it was just like a lie. Is it like a quote unquote, I'm not gonna say the person's name, I'm gonna say a Kumachi situation. If you know, you know. Like, did they give him this kind of title, like, oh, this is such a bad guy? But we don't know. It could be something completely different. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was a really solid first episode. Like, for an anime production, everything that I've seen or heard in there, I loved it. Voice acting sounds good. The obviously the animation, the graffiti, all the stuff in the background, the setting, the juxtaposition between the people, the richer people, higher class people wearing all white, not a speck of dirt on them, while everybody in this area is trash and their clothes are more like darker, like brown, green, and gray or whatever. And then the OST, really good stuff. But that broke my heart when she would drop the damn doll. I was like, oh my god, that's the
I knew
last
it was
person that
coming, but
that's
it's
the
still
last
hurt.
person that he would wanted to have flipped on him, and even her. That hurts.
So at that point when she did that, he had no lasting connection to that world. So it's the Eren Yeager, burn them all,
You're
kill
dead
them
to me.
all, like just scorched earth. And it doesn't matter what type of feelings he had previously for her, like those are dead too. And I don't know if this mangaka is the type to where she will try to rekindle that flame at a later point. Personally, I like it whenever you have a character that is shunned from society, that finds, you know, companionship with
Elsewhere.
another of shunned society. So I don't know, that's just my personal opinion on that. But last thing I did want to say is in regards to Rudo's arms. That looks more than an injury to me. That looks like a scientific experiment. It looks like a curse. So Regto theoretically could have been his benefactor ever since Rudo was a baby, because of the fact that he caused that injury, that curse, that, you know, ailment. And Regto, like you said, since he has been financially funding Rudo, I don't know to what extent, but it sounds like he was a benefactor in some sorts. He could have felt guilty about it. And then maybe that was his past finally catching up to him. Maybe he defected from the apostles and he was always meant to try to keep the trash in the trash heap. And eventually he just started propping up Rudo too much to where they're like, well, you're no longer useful to us, mad scientist, so it's time to kill you off.
Yeah, it's funny. We got immediately into politics. Like the episode started, like with with the rich, the higher class, and all that. So it's I was very invested when I first read it. I was like, okay, this is, and plus just off rip, the one thing everybody in the back of their mind thinking like, oh, we can't wait until Rudo does return here. We cannot wait for that. Whenever that is in the series, in game or whatever, can't wait to see how that goes down because. Yeah, that like the indoctrination for the rich, and you said it earlier, even for the poor, to get them at odds against each other is something that is you don't see it too often in a lot of anime. Like you see it in real life all the time, but like in anime and manga, you don't see it too often. It's more so like the rich versus the poor, and then you'll see certain fights within, you know, poor versus poor, but it's not like the indoctrination towards them to also be hateful towards each other and put each other even further down. So, and you know, all that does is it breeds this. I want to kill them all, like that kind of vitriol. And then whatever his father, I'm just going to assume that his father, same thing happened to him or something similar. Maybe he got framed for something or whatever happened. He got thrown probably to the pit and came back himself because it just seems like since everybody thinks he was such a horrible person, I would just assume that he probably got thrown in there as well at some point. Or maybe it did happen on the surface, who knows, but this world is definitely just completely birthing something that they do not want. Just like an AOT, right, with Eren, like, oh, this is what we did, man. Like the Marleyans, they were saying how oh, this is what we did, we birthed this monster, this devil right here. In this series, they're gonna be birthing a lot of devils at this point. Y'all throw people down there all the time. At some point, they probably gonna come back up. The damn trash heap is gonna just shoot up people. It's gonna look like Marineford with Luffy and them falling from the sky, something like that. Nah, but dope episode nonetheless.
One last final point I do want to make. It's another connection to Attack on Titan. This whole concept of inherited sin. You don't really see that too often, and obviously in the real world, like, that's not a thing. You cannot fault someone as a child for the sins of the father. It makes no logical sense. It doesn't make moral sense. You know, I don't know. At this point, like, Rudo's going to meet his dad. I don't think his dad is dead unless he's been fully cursed by whatever, you know, afflicted Rudo. But a very interesting start. I'm not hooked yet, but I'm fully invested in seeing episode 2. I have a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a slow burn. And no, that's not a pun because of trash burning, but honestly, I feel like it's going to build up the mystery to where when we finally get the answer, it's going to feel like Attack on Titan, and we just get this epiphany of a reveal.
Sir, well, next episode, I'm ready for that. I would say that is definitely around the time I was okay. Yep, here we go. Here we are with the series. Welcome to Gachiakuta. Definitely. So, you guys know the drill though. Like the video, subscribe to your boys, like Twitchy said earlier in the intro. We have this, we have Dandadan, both manga and anime. We got Haikyuu, we still got Squid Game, lots and lots of stuff. I'm not gonna say everything because there's a lot of stuff. There's like at this point it's up to like 15 things between now till January, and honestly it might be more. We'll see. But you guys know the drill. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. See you guys on the next. Actually, no, stay trashy. See you guys in the next video or stream. And peace.